everyone. Welcome to our favorite show of the week, StreamYard Spotlight. I am your co-host, Dana Benz.
And I'm your co-host, Kelsey Benz. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yes, we have so many people in the comments, per usual. Thanks, everyone, for being here. And I see all our regulars are here. Mike and LTMW, thanks for being here. I saw Michael Daniels put up the hashtag the yard. We're not doing a giveaway tonight, but that is the signal for the giveaway on Sundays. Hashtag the yard. So thanks everyone for being here. We have a short show tonight, per usual. Our shows are we try to stick to 20 minutes, but a few times they go over. But without further ado, let's bring on our special guest. So I know some of you in the comments were already announcing it, but Andrew Kavanagh is joining us live. Many of you probably have heard of him or seen him in our group. Andrew, thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. I've gotten to know you just from seeing you in the Facebook community group. And you're always at the StreamYard live town halls in the chat and just on some of our other live streams. So thanks for just being a part of our community. We're excited today to talk to you about, well, the whole purpose of our show is to interview people like you using StreamYard. So we're excited to get to know how you're using StreamYard. So can we start with that?
Sure. So as you might have said, I think you said in the descriptive, I run 3 groups on Facebook, and with those groups, I have about 3. Someone says hello.
Marissa, so sweet.
So with those groups, I run about 3 or 4 live video events a month, and so my focus is Photoshop and photography. The 3 groups have different variations of a similar name: Photoshop and Lightroom, Learn Photoshop and Photography, and the Photoshop and Photography group. And what I do is I'm also an Adobe user group manager. So about maybe 12 to 15 years ago, I started that. And with that program, I became connected to a lot of people in the Adobe industry. So I'm good friends with people in Adobe world and the photography world. And so I reach out and I say, okay, would you like to do, a live video event this month in my group? I'm lighting up, stranger. And so I schedule it accordingly to what they like to focus on. So I have anything from retouchers to photo compositors to photographers. And since it's online, they can be from anywhere. So
that's the best part, right? So you're featuring different members of your group, kind of like we feature members of our group on our show. You feature people in your Facebook community groups, and you said that you have live events 3 to 4 times a month. Why did you choose that cadence?
Well, it just became, originally the Photoshop and Lightroom group, which I've had for about 10 years, originally blew up to about 446,000 members. And it got so big that it became too much work for my admins and moderators, so I moved it over to another group. But with the same name. But the point is, it's so busy. A lot of people in the industry are in it, know about it, post amazing work, that if I didn't reach out to people, they also reached out to me. And so it used to be like maybe I tried to do once a month, and then all of a sudden it became more like 3 or 4 times a month because so many people wanted to do a show for the groups.
Wow, that's neat. So you really had, you kind of built this following, like people wanted to be a part of your show, like they wanted to be featured.
Absolutely.
And Miss Sonia says hi. And I saw Stefan Kaplan say, "Don't give away the guest. It's Andrew, the famous Andrew Kavanagh." I love that we have so many fans in the audience. So I want to touch a little bit more about your groups and how the show actually works. I love that people are reaching out to you to be on your show. I think it's just a special level to get to, like when your show is that well known.
Yeah, that's like an achievement unlocked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like the StreamYard Spotlight. People really want to be a part of the show and the community. But I saw a comment from, I think it was, Marissa. She said Adobe fam, and then she said, can I talk about Adobe Spark? She might have meant, can you talk about Adobe Spark? Do you happen to know what Adobe Spark is?
Yeah, I mean, all my groups are Photoshop and photography focused, so I'm more of a Photoshop guy.
Okay.
But Adobe Spark I also use. So Adobe Spark is where you can go. It's part of your Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. And there's like a sub-site for it. And when you go there, there's templates. And so you can create like Facebook banners or banners for Twitter. And it's templates with text, and then you can upload your own images. It's just a way to make designing for, say, social media easy. And so it's kind of like, I think like Canva. Isn't there one called Canva?
Yeah, Canva.
Canva, that's it. Canva.
Oh, okay, okay.
Canva.
So kind of like templates, like you were saying, templates for social media, just on Adobe. Yeah.
Right, and as an example,
Oh, it's the Adobe's version of Canva. Perfect.
Yeah, and I think you can resize it to like the perfect size for like a Facebook banner or even like a StreamYard banner.
Oh, nice.
I think I did some, happy holidays ones for, the holidays. And,
yeah. Oh, how fun. Fun. So I wanted to talk to you about your using these shows to grow your community groups or to grow the engagement in them. What's the goal with having these live video events in the groups?
So a big thing is when I created my group, more than 10 years ago, a big focus for me was to balance people in the industry who had, working knowledge, evangelists, you could call them in some way, and people who wanted to learn. And so I had this nice balance that was building, and it kind of took off. And so it's the same type of concept with the live video events. So I want someone in the, I've done some, but, I like to focus more on people in the industry and people I know. So I'll have them come and work on a theme related to Photoshop and photography. And then people can attend and kind of take that education, take that in. So that's always been like the goal for my group, is for it to be educational. So, we always try to keep it helpful and nice. And we have a whole section for units where we can go and put all the recordings of all these different live video events. So anybody in any of the 3 groups can go up to the units section and look at all the big list of the history of all the recordings we've done. So, you could look and see, okay, here's retouching, or here's color correction, or here's photo compositing, or one about like the focus of photography, such as composition. So, and I think we've done like some design ones as well. So yeah, it's quite the variety.
Interesting.
Awesome.
I like how they're organized in, like the recordings are so easily organized into those categories so that you can go back and watch the theme, or go back and choose to watch just that one. Because I know sometimes, this might even happen to our show, sometimes you have this live stream show that's just like episode after episode, and it's just like, this is episode 1 of the StreamYard Spotlight, and it's like, well, what was it about? Like, what was the content in the live stream? So I like that you have it organized in the group like that.
Yeah, I stay very organized for the groups. Keep me very busy.
Yeah, I bet.
As you would imagine. So, but a quick shout out. I do have a good dedicated group of moderators and admins. So thank you all for your daily dedication to that.
Shout out to the admin.
But Facebook does have some good features, so you have units, and then they did start doing like rooms where you can have like these online meetings, but I didn't really like the structure of it too much. The quality is not as good as, say, StreamYard. But they now have a thing called prompts. So, for engagement, what I'll do is I'll post, since they're all Photoshop photography orientated, I'll say, okay, show us who you are. So post your self-portraits. And that's a nice way that everyone can post the same thread and show their different self-portraits and kind of share in that together.
Oh, that's really fun. So it's just more engagement, basically. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry that my writing is a little strange.
That's okay. It's that time of night,
I have this other light. Let me see if that helps. Excuse me.
Sometimes it just happens.
I'll plug it.
Zane has a question for you.
Okay.
Andrew, how are you encouraging members to contribute?
Right. So as an example, that's one of them where I'll create a prompt and I'll say, share your self-portraits, or I'll say, post your favorite food, or post, an animal or a pet that you love. And so, dogs, cats, but then people have like photos from the zoo.
Fun.
I don't think people have pet rhinos or pet elephants, but
So fun.
I like to focus on. I'm always thinking the psychology of the group, and so I'm thinking people really like. So I don't usually like say post something horrible. I always say post something you love, and I want people to enjoy it. And I am aware that with larger groups, what can happen is people get intimidated, and you have people in the industry there's some really excellent artists, and there are members who might feel like they want to be at that level, but they're working hard to get there. And so when you do a prompt, which is a way that everyone can kind of come together and do it, that's a great way that they can share their work without having to just post directly to the group.
Got it.
So,
Yep. That's a great way to encourage the people to contribute. Like making it something that it's kind of like everyone can do it. Like it's all hands on
More
deck.
focused too. Yeah. that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that. It sounds like we have a lot of people in our community that are photographers too. Like
Seems like it.
yeah, I think I saw Owen, and Stefan, of course, is in photography. I think you can actually stream your Facebook rooms into a Facebook group. Interesting.
I
do
don't
not
think I've
know.
heard that.
I haven't done that, but I've focused just on the one thing I learned, trying to tweak the lighting a little bit. It's a little weird, but sorry about that.
That's okay.
One thing I have learned though is, if you stream from StreamYard into a group and then you take the recording afterwards to share, if someone's not a member of that group, then they have to join the group or they get locked out from the recording.
Oh,
So
that's
I
a good
learned,
point.
yeah, I learned pretty quickly that the best thing to do is stream to your groups and to your Facebook business page. And then you have the recording from your Facebook business page and then share that afterwards. And then everybody can see that because it's
I see.
pages
I
are
see.
basically public. Yeah.
That's
Right.
a good tip. So
Right.
you're saying make sure you can still stream to the groups, right? But make sure to also multi-stream to your page,
Correct.
because pages are just automatically public. Groups are, you have to be a member to see all that content. So anything you share from a group outside of the group, it's like it'll make you log in or join the group or whatever. It'll just pop up an
Just
error.
won't show you. Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you still stream to both, like still stream to your group, but also multi-stream to the page,
Right.
then you can freely share the stream from your page anywhere.
Right. So I learned quickly that when I shared the group, recording link, they were locked out. So I went and I thought, well, maybe if I grab it from my business page, and then that was accessible to everybody and it was fine. So that's one advice I would give people who want to do similar. It's great to have a lot of people watch because it's a larger group, but just be aware that, you need to have kind of a backup system like that by having a Facebook business page.
Yeah.
And I've learned, with the flow of the changes that Facebook makes, that you got to stay on your toes.
You got to stay on your toes.
That's right.
So,
That's for sure.
yeah, so they did the latest thing where they updated Facebook pages or business pages, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to update?" And I was like, "Sure, it sounds fun." I like change. I'm a Gemini, And what happened was, it made the whole thing, the page, a profile. So new pages, if you do this new update,
Yeah.
it creates a whole new profile. So it's like you have your personal profile and then you have your page profile. But what happens is, I think it had problems where StreamYard could not stream to that page as easily as before. And there was something about like Facebook wasn't giving permissions for the recording. And then when you create an event, so I create an event on StreamYard, but I also create an event on Facebook first.
Mhm.
When I created the event on Facebook, it would not let me add any co-hosts. So there was all these restrictions. So I've asked around, found out how you can go back, and I went back to classic pages. So
Yeah, that's just something that's been coming up more recently, the new layout. But things, Facebook, things are constantly changing. And for us, since we're integrated with so many different platforms, it's like we've got to keep up with Facebook and YouTube
right.
and Twitter that's getting rid of Periscope soon and LinkedIn, and all
Right.
these platforms are changing. So we're keeping up as fast as we can. So back to your groups. I know we're almost out of time, but you mentioned when we were backstage, Marissa says Facebook's restricting things. No,
No
way. That's funny. I think you mentioned that you also multi-stream to the group, the page, and also your website. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Did you want me to do a screen share?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I'll bring it up.
Okay. I'll jump over to the group. So
There we are.
you can see
Okay.
Photoshop in Lightroom, right?
Photoshop and Lightroom. That's what I see. Perfect.
Yeah. So that's my first group. It's now almost
Okay.
143,000 members.
Wow.
And
A lot of people
yes,
want to learn
yeah.
Photoshop and Lightroom.
Yeah. So there you can see the live being streamed, but I'm not going to click on it so we don't get that flow of images.
Endless loop.
Thank you for sharing our stream in there, by the
We
way.
have quite a variety of images, beautiful flower images, family images. The latest
Love
is
that.
everyone's doing the Bernie mem type of,
Yes,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been seeing that everywhere.
Yeah.
and in general, we don't allow, political posts.
Right.
It's going to be very argumentative, about like the president, but everyone's already having fun with this online. So we allowed the Bernie one because it's pretty much harmless. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
See, people
That
are in
is so fun.
781 reactions, 130 comments,
Oh my
Lots of
gosh.
engagement. Yeah.
13,000 post reach.
Wow.
So-
Wow.
So,
So
there's a
this one's your biggest group?
so yeah, this is my biggest group, going on 143,000.
Nice.
And then, like I said, of quite the variety. So showing like retouching before and after, photo compositing, kind of fantasy type of imagery, retouching portraits, kind of seasonal portraits, landscapes, animals. It's a great group. A lot of amazing artists. Cute cat photo there.
Oh, fun.
That's awesome.
And then people ask questions. So they ask questions related to Photoshop, Lightroom, or photography. And so
Okay.
it's a very helpful group. And here, Mark, who used to be a moderator, is very helpful in the group. Thank you, Mark. Always answering questions. And then, so yeah, that's Photoshop and Lightroom. And then just
Okay.
real quick, I have the Learn Photoshop and Photography group, which is a public group. And so that only has 5.7 thousand members.
Only.
I know, right? But then the work that you see in the banners in any of the groups are from members. So we do have some amazing artists in the groups. So
That's amazing. That's really cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat. Fun to see them all.
the Photoshop and Photography, which has 83,000 members.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
for example, you click here and you can see that it's Heather Hatmaker Smith, does really beautiful family type shots, and we focus on the banner. Switch it around every, say, 1 or 2 weeks. I think this group switches around more like every 1 week, but the other groups every 2.
Just featuring a new someone from the
Yeah,
group.
exactly. Featuring the work of the members' work.
I like that. It's someone from the comments. Photoshop and Lightroom group's the best group for photographers. Oh, what a nice testimonial.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And then just for me, I have my page, which is photoshopandphotography.com.
Ooh, yeah.
And so, that's like, about me. And then I have reviews for my tutoring and photo editing. And then if you go here on the live videos, these are all the different recordings of all the different events, live video
Oh,
events.
wow. Wow, they're all archirched.
Yeah, archived this way.
This is so cool.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You've gone live so much.
Yeah, and what I used to do was if you see here, I don't know if you can read the text, but it's experts.adobe connect. So I started off with Adobe Connect, which is an Adobe app. But I was never happy with the way that, you can't really show yourself too well with the video streaming.
Mm.
So I did that for a while, and then when StreamYard came around, I got very curious about it, and I started streaming with it. And then I could also, therefore stream to my page, to the groups very easily. Because with Adobe Connect, they would have to go to a link that was take them to the app outside of the Facebook realm. So this was a great way. StreamYard's been a great way to keep them focused on the groups inside Facebook, but also allowing me to multi-stream to other destinations like my page. I got accepted to LinkedIn Learning, etc. So, and then just a quick thing, if you go back to the main, this is some of my digital art. So I do, kind of abstract or surreal photo montage, digital art. And I do, color variations of the same theme at times. And then
Very cool.
And this one's a lot of people like recently, where I'll take, elements from free stock sites mixed in with elements that I've taken photos of. Like at the top, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it was like a mannequin from like a store window here in Los Angeles. And this is from a wooden sculpture that was in a window in Los Angeles, mixed in with some stock.
Wow.
So yeah.
Very cool. This is
These are gorgeous. Yeah.
So yeah, I do quite the range. This one was a big one on Instagram. I think did well, but and this one too. This one I like. So this was taking photos from a wooden sculpture in a local Los Angeles store, and then I got some stock elements that I felt would fit with the narrative, and then I go in and I compose, and then play with the tonal range in the background, and then create a new layer or a whole new document of it, and then try different kind of color grading effects, like the image on the right, and then composing it back into it. So.
Interesting. So you can learn how to do that in the Facebook groups, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't know how.
Right. So we might even have a live event focused just on photo compositing. So.
Oh, that would be neat. Very cool.
Yeah. Should I come
Very
back?
Cool.
Come back into the room and stop.
And come back into the room. Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's really fun to see. It's fun to see your groups, like in action, but it's also nice to see your website and just a little bit more about you. And I really like that you have everything on the website, all of the past live events. I love how organized that is. And I think that's a great tip for other people who maybe are not doing anything with their live streams. I think it's smart to keep an archive somewhere.
Yeah.
So people can find them.
I mean, that's a thing that you learn dealing with a lot of this kind of online stuff, is you really have to back things up. So if you're a photographer, as an example, I might have things backed up on my desktop, backed up to an external drive, like a G-Tech drive. And then I also use Backblaze for backing up my photos as well. So that's like 3 different sources. And then the same kind of concept goes with information. So I not only will put all the links or information related to my streams in one Notes app, but maybe even 2 or 3 Notes apps, just in case one app gets corrupted.
Yeah.
So I put the live recordings on my website and also in the units in the various groups. So if you go to the units, once again, in the groups, you'll see all those listings too.
You got plan A, plan B, and plan C.
So Andrew, remind us, where can people find you? I know there's multiple groups in your website. What's your website address so we can put it into a banner?
Right. So that is photoshopandphotography.com.
Easy.
Yep, that's right. It's got dark mode, so when I jump out, the lighting changes.
I love that.
Yeah, that's it.
I love dark mode.
Photoshopandphotography.com. And then if you're on Facebook, you can just do a search. And I think there's even like a tab for groups on the left. So you can click on tabs first, then do a search and just type in Photoshop and Lightroom, learn Photoshop and photography, or Photoshop and photography. And
nice.
Yes.
Easy peasy. Andrew, thank you so much for being our guest on our show and letting us spotlight your 3 shows in all your groups.
Thank you.
There it is down here. Have a great night. Thanks for sharing your tips, Andrew.
Thanks for letting me join the show. It's a great show.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. You've been a great guest. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, how fun. You got them all. Did you just type that right now?
I sure did.
Nice. Co-host extraordinaire. So photoshopandphotography.com. Perfect. We got it. And so we got 3 Facebook groups, you guys. Photoshop and Lightroom, Learn Photoshop and Photography, Photoshop and Photography. If you want to learn more, or if you want to just watch his live events, there's got to be one coming up soon. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of StreamYard Spotlight. We will see you next week.
See ya.